The 2024 Leagues Cup is officially underway, and the Union made sure they started off strong on Saturday night. We break down the team's 1-0 victory over Charlotte FC before turning the page to the second group stage game with a daunting task ahead against talented Liga MX side this weekend. All that and more as Union Insider starts now.
Takes the strike on, and it's off the inside of the post. Ariel, who scores off the header from the set
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross with club legend Sebastian Letou and Sheanon Williams. I'm Dave Leno. After a 2023 Leagues Cup run that saw the team reach the semifinals and won the third place match, the Union kicked off their 2024 Leagues Cup campaign with a 1-0 win over Charlotte FC. And guys, certainly the team got revenge. They didn't defeat Charlotte back in June. We lost 2-0 before that, a scoreless draw at Bank of America Stadium down in the Queen City. But Seba, a totally different result this go around for the Union.
Yeah, different result. I think a good result to start this tournament. A third win in a row, at home in Subaru Park after the two, in MLS, now one in Leagues Cup. I think a lot of confidence out of this game. But like you say, it was a game that we know Charlotte was very good, in the leagues. They beat us, a month ago 2-0. But it was a very serious, I think, performance for the team. We saw really them, being good defensively, don't do any mistake. Charlotte didn't really attack too much. They were always waiting, to go in counter-attack. But I'm very happy about the work between Glesnes and Elliott because Adjimang, we remember scoring 2 goals against them. They did a very good job against him. And at the end, in one of the 2 opportunities the team got, they got the goal and they got the win. So like Jim Curtin said in his press conference, a very professional, performance, kind of way to ground, this win that we didn't see for a long time. And at the end, they got the 3 points. So now they can wait for the second game against Cruz Azul.
You're spot on. Charlotte in the game only mustered 7 shots, nothing on frame of Andre Blake. So for a team that's tough to break down in Charlotte, they didn't give a lot offensively in the game. But what did you make of the Union defensively in that one, Sheanon?
I thought they did a really good job. Seba talked about the partnership of Elliott and Glesnes. I thought they dealt with the attack of Charlotte really well. I also thought that Martinez in front of them, it makes a big difference for this Union side. He just does so much of the dirty work. He really is just a protector in front of that back four, something that they've been missing over some games. It was a good way for them to get into Leagues Cup, get their feet wet, get that first win, and see if they can progress further into this tournament.
Yeah, Adjimang, to both of your points, just trying to negate him defensively, didn't have his best quality chance by the shots that I was charting at around the 48th minute when Jack Elliott made a terrific recovery sprint. Also, I thought offensively in the game, Olivier Baizo got advanced up and to the right. How is he doing filling in for Nate Harriel, who's with the Olympic team right now?
I think he's doing very well. I think he's growing into his role on the right side, being the sub for Air right now, and he was part of the goal of Baribo, starting this beautiful pass. But I think defensively, we are maybe thinking sometimes Baizo always do one mistake a game, but past a couple of games, he has been clean, didn't do any mistake. He's always well with the line, not keeping people onside, and so far I think his game is very good, and he might make some kind of thinking for Jim Curtin to know when Ariel come back, he has 2 very good right back at that time.
Sheanon, you were right a moment ago about Jose Martinez. I thought he did a masterful job stopping Ben Bender, who started at the number 10 for him. Vargas was on one side, Yuri Tavares was on the other, and then they had Adjimang, and then the subs that came in for me, like Pekovic at the number 10, Cambridge went out on the right, really didn't factor into the game. Just how important is Jose at the base of the diamond for this Union team that's had a tough go defensively this year?
He's so important. I would hate to play against him. I think he does such a good job of ball winning, especially in the midfield, covering ground. He's somebody that is always hunting the ball, and that's so important as a defensive midfielder to be winning the ball back and then starting to the distribution from there. So again, he really is the heartbeat of this team right now. As he goes, they go. When he's having a good game, they're most likely on the winner's side of it.
Samuel Adeniran also made his first Union start. Remember, he came off the bench for about 29 minutes against Nashville, had a couple of shots in that game, also had a couple of chances and near one to tally his first Union goal. It just wasn't to be. What did you make of Sam's performance?
I mean, I think for a first start, I think he did pretty well. We got the win. It's always, difficult to play your first, start. He didn't play 90 minutes. He come off at the end, but it was not a lot of space. And you can see that he is a forward that really likes to take the space as well. We saw one time in the second half when he was a lot of space and he got the ball on the left side right before he came out. But he's pretty fast. Even if he's tall, you can see he has a lot of, weapon into his game. He's very good holding the ball. He has a good left foot as well, which is a bit different than any other forward of the Union. So it's good to have him. It was good to see him, playing as a star with Baribo and Gazda. We can see him maybe with Ura as well and Baribo. Maybe we can see the three, together. But he's a good thing to have for Jenkins off the bench because it's a very good option if he's off the bench or if he's a starter. But it can be a good rotation, for the forward.
Well, the Union had the lone goal in this one, and you guessed it. It's getting the spotlight for this week's Key Play of the Week presented by Subaru. Seba is at the video wall to go over the Ty Baribo goal that ended up giving the Union the victory on Saturday. Seba.
Thank you, Dave. So let's see this goal. He started with a great pass, of Glesnes, eliminating, the front line. Baizo is a great spot, finding the feet of Adeniran, facing the game. We saw the ball he was going to play is a bit too long for Gazdag, good cross back, and then Baribo winning the last moment to peel off the defender to get the ball. But if you can see, both of them, are facing Adeniran at that point, you see, maybe he played too fast, Gazdag cannot get it. But Baribo at the end, make a great run into the box. But if you stop the ball right here, what I like about the play is the option for Baizo. First, he's playing very high, so it's easy for Glesnes to find him. You eliminate already the first line of the defense, and Baizo, I love right away, try to find the feet of the forward. The two run you can see right here, it's Gazdag, making a run as well as Adeniran. I think he wants to find the feet of Adeniran, but what he does with the run of Gazdag, this defender private tried to anticipate to maybe get the ball from Gazdag, and he completely missed it. He opened Adeniran, so if you let it play, Privet tried to anticipate, miss the ball, Adeniran facing, find Gazdag, and now it's a race. Gazdag did a great job, cutting the ball back to Baribo, who then a one-time finish and score his first goal in the League's Cup. But release the ball from Baizo is a difference right here, eliminate Private, then a great play between the three, Adeniran, Gazdag, Baribo, the way you want to see it, to score the first goal of the League's Cup. So hopefully there's much more coming through.
All right, we've got more Union Insider for you in a bit, but first, here's your Union trivia question presented by United Concordia. Besides Kai Wagner, who are the only other defenders in Union history to record double-digit assists in their careers? Find out the answer later in the show. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm Dave Leno. There's definitely a lot happening around the Union right now, especially with the start of League's Cup and the club's current win streak. But there's also some other Union representation overseas, where two of our very own are trying to help the U.S. men's national Olympic team reach glory in Paris. For more on Jack McGlynn and Nate Harriel and the rest of the Olympic squad, here's Sage Hurley with this week's Union Roundup, presented by Green Mountain Energy.
What's up, Union fans? I'm Sage Hurley here at the club's campus in Chester for another edition of Union Roundup. The 2024 Paris Olympics are well underway, and the Philadelphia Union's homegrown trio representing Team USA have shined in the group stage, helping the Stars and Stripes earn a spot in the quarterfinals for the first time in 24 years. Nate Harriel, Jack McGlynn, and Paxton Aronson have been key pieces to Team USA's success so far. The team picked up 2 decisive wins against New Zealand and Guinea after a tough opening loss against France, but now their path to gold is set. They'll take on Morocco on Friday at the home of French powerhouse club PSG. Team USA's first 3 matches took place in different parts of the country, but this week they'll travel to the Olympic epicenter, playing in Paris for the first time since their arrival. Not only have all 3 Union products earned minutes in every match, they've each created goals, proudly representing club and country on one of the world's biggest sports stages. But they're not the only ones. Union season ticket members Amanda and Nate made the trip to France, and they sported a pair of incredible split Union and Team USA jerseys. The day couldn't have been more perfect for them. They were featured on the national broadcast, then they got to meet Harriel and McGlynn themselves after the game. That's all for this week's edition of Union Roundup. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sage. We'll come back stateside here to go over the club's next match, a tilt with Liga MX side and very Goliath Cruz Azul on Sunday. So now it's time to hand it over for the guys' keys to the game. Of course, presented by Subaru. Seba, you're up first.
Yeah, so I mean, for the fact that they are playing on Wednesday against Charlotte is a quick turnaround, for them. For me, it will be to keep, a high rhythm, a high tempo into this game. We know that they are at the beginning of the year, in their leagues. Of course, they have a 3-win, 1 tie, standing on top of their league, but it's still the beginning for them. So are they, physically at a high level? Probably not. So if we can, put a high, tempo into the game, making sure, we go press them, we don't, let the game go in a slow type of tempo that will probably fit more, Cruz Azul having a kind of 2 games in like 4 days. It's something that the team can maybe take advantage of. So I would like to see, with the team having maybe some time of like a high pressing, for maybe 15 minutes and maybe slowing down a little bit and then going back at it, especially in the second half when I think the leg of Cruz Azul is going to be tired. I would like to see, keep pushing hard, keep trying, to put pressure on this defense to maybe get some mistake out of the back and scoring some goals for the team.
Yeah, there's no doubt this is a lot of travel for Cruz Azul. Again, they're playing Wednesday against Charlotte on the road, following up against us on Sunday. What's your key, Sheanon?
For me, it's going to be to stay compact defensively. This is a team that likes to throw a lot of numbers forward, usually playing out of that back 3 system. We'll see if the Union decide to match up with their own back 3, but it's going to be important to make sure that they're compact. We know that the Union can play off the counter. Can they stay compact, really make the game a defensive game, and then look to hit them on the counterattack? I think Cruz Azul will leave just the 3 players in the back. Can they look to expose them on the counterattack and stay compact defensively?
I agree. This could perhaps be a Mikel Ua type of game should he start, because I think the Union will have many opportunity to play direct, play on the counter. I know they like to do that in this one. You guys are spot on. Tactically, when watching some tape on Cruz Azul, last game of the 1-1 draw with Toluca, they played the back 3. You can call it back 5 as well. I'll call it a 3-5-2. I expect them to line up in that because a lot of teams in MLS have been playing a back 3 against the Union. So how do the Union shore that up and do a better job if they're playing against wingbacks?
I think it'll be a great move for Jim Curtin and his coaching staff to see the game. They're going to play against Charlotte. It's going to give, I think, a lot of indication about what ways they want to play. I know it's their first game, but Charlotte's going to be, back, to the door because they already lost their first game. So they need to get a win to make sure maybe they have a chance to go through, the next stage of this competition. So it's going to be interesting to see how Cruz Azul is going to play. Are they going to sit down and wait for Charlotte and then go and counter-attack? Are they going to take the game in their own hands and play, like a very offensive soccer like Sheanon just talked about? Then when they come to the Union, it might get, a little bit easier for Jim Curtin to prepare that game, making sure that they know what to do defensively when they have to stay compact and wait, for Cruz Azul to come in their offense and then go and counter-attack. Or in the same time, can they, kind of switch a little bit and now go press them with a back 3 and kind of win the ball in the own half of Cruz Azul. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of game plan, Jim Curtin is going to come against Cruz Azul, but it's a very good team, very good players, so they need to be really on the same page defensively first to then, get some opportunity to score some goals.
We're coming up on a break for Union Insider, but when we return, we'll talk about a new Union player that will be sure to fortify the front line for the boys in blue. We'll be back right after this. Time for this week's Chick-fil-A Nugget of the Week. Daniel Gazdag was named Player of the Match Day for his hat-trick performance against Nashville SC on July 20th. He is now the only player in MLS and the first in Union history to earn at least one Player of the Match Day in each of the past 3 seasons. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. When Julian Carranza departed for Dutside Feyenoord in late June, the Union were left with a hole in their attack, short a player who was a prolific goal scorer for the club in his time here. Now the club made a move to fill that hole, acquiring forward Samuel Adeniran in a trade with St. Louis City, and Adeniran gets the spotlight on this week's player profile presented by Subaru. Adeniran was traded to the Union from SLC on July 18th. The Houston, Texas native scored 10 goals and added 2 assists for St. Louis since the start of the 2023 campaign, including 8 goals for them in 2023. The 25-year-old started his career with Leganés B in Spain and has had a bunch of stops along the way. Has also played in Germany as well and has spent time with St. Louis and the Seattle Sounders. Guys, a big acquisition for the Philadelphia Union at this point. How do you see Adeniran fitting in with the team, and what have you made of him so far?
I think so far what I saw, I think he really fit very well, in the team of Jim Curtin. Of course, as a forward, he always takes time to get, fit with the team, know your teammate, know the ways that especially the defender like to play, which midfielder, he can call the ball into the space, into the feet, kind of like knowing each other. And it takes, a couple of games to get that. But so far, what I saw from him first coming in his first game, then starting, the Leagues Cup, he did pretty well. And you can really see him, feeling he's a part of the goal of Baribo in the Leagues Cup. So you can see already some good flashes from him. So hopefully he keep going, he stay healthy, he get more and more confident, more the weeks goes with the team. And we probably, will see him, in the score sheet, hopefully delivering some very important goal for the team.
You guys have both been traded in your career. What's the mindset like you think of Adeniran coming into the Union in July and already in a different competition outside the regular season?
You really just want to hit the ground running. He comes in at the right time, it being Leagues Cup. It's an opportunity for some players sometimes that normally aren't seeing a lot of time to get in games. He got a good start this past weekend against Charlotte. I thought that he was active. He brings a different profile that Jim Curtin can now go to, whether he comes off the bench or whether he starts, which I think is really important as a coach. I think that he's going to fit into the team really well, especially getting this run of games in Leagues Cup, helping him get acclimated to this Union side.
And like you said, when you got traded, I think, I got traded, Sheanon got traded, we didn't want to get traded. So when you get traded like him, who didn't play a lot, in St. Louis, was not really a part of the game plan, coming in, having more confidence from Ernst Tanner, from Jim Curtin, say, hey, we are going to need you this year, we want you, to be in this team. You give a lot of more confidence to a player, especially a forward coming and being like, okay, they want me here. So hopefully you can really help him acclimate, very quickly to the team and scoring some goal. But it's a big difference, being traded like I did, or he did, and you don't want to leave the team, or then, coming because you want to get out and go to a team who really wants you. So hopefully it's a good thing for him, but you can see right away he's happy and, he's trying to make the best out of it for his few games.
It was a busy weekend for Leagues Cup, so let's take a look at some other big moments in this week's Around the League presented by Torque. After a scoreless 90 minutes in New Jersey, Toronto FC and the New York Red Bulls went to PKs to decide the winner of their group stage game, with Toronto narrowly defeating the Red Bulls 5-4 and taking 2 points for a PK win. This one between Austin FC and Pumas has to be the match of Leagues Cup so far. A penalty is awarded to Pumas in stoppage time to tie the game and send it to PKs. Pumas' Guillermo Martinez steps up, but Austin keeper Stefan Cleveland dives to his right and says no, and Austin pulls out a gritty 3-2 win in which they were down a man for a lot of the match. Wow! When Union Insider returns, Seba and Sheanon will give us their players to watch for Sunday's match as the Union face Liga MX side Cruz Azul. We'll be back right after this. Here's the answer to this week's Union Trivia question presented by United Concordia. Sheanon Williams, Chris Pontius, and Jack Elliott are the only other Union defenders to reach double-digit assists besides Kai Wagner in their Union careers. Way to go, Sheanon! Final segment here on Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross, which means it's time to put a bow on this episode, and we need some All-State players to watch with Seba and Sheanon. And Seba, you're up first. Hopefully this player can get a Union victory in our second group stage game.
Yeah, and my player, is confident right now. I think he has, a great game last game against Charlotte. I'm going to go with Olivier Baizo. He didn't play a lot at the beginning of the year because of Nathan Ariol being the starting right back. But so far, he's really, putting great performances, and I am hoping for him to do another good one. First, defensively, making sure, he doesn't do any giveaway like we saw sometime, or a good position, to help his center backs. But then, if he can, choose his moment to go on the right side, delivering some good cross, overlapping, whoever play midfielder next to him. And like we saw on the goal against Charlotte, giving some key passes, into the middle to the forward is something I'm looking forward for Baizo. So hopefully he keep, his confidence high. It's going to be a different type of game against Cruz Azul, very good player. He needs first to be focused defensively, but then can he push forward and help the team, scoring goals is what I'm looking for Olivier.
Yeah, that's a great point because they have a terrific left back should he start for Cruz Azul and Rotundi. If he gets high and Baizo gets advanced on the right, that will be a cool matchup to follow. Sheanon, who's your player?
For me, I'm going to go with Mikel Ua. Whether he comes off the bench or whether he starts, I think he can really make an impact in this game. Cruz Azul is a team that likes to send a lot of numbers forward, whether they're attacking or defending. Can the Union do a good job of bypassing that pressure, playing more direct into the forwards? I've seen him make a lot of runs that go unnoticed. Can they start to find him on those runs? Maybe in behind those outside wingbacks as they start to move forward. I think if they can find him, he can make an impact in this game.
We need him to continue his surge. He's goalless in a little bit of a rut. I think it's now 5 games. Hopefully he'll get on the sheet, to your point, against Cruz Azul. Well, that will do it for this one. The Union are at home to take on Cruz Azul in their final Leagues Cup group stage match on Sunday. Remember, it's an 8 p.m. start. You can see the match, of course, on MLS Season Pass. You can listen to Seba and me with the radio call on 97.5 The Fanatic. For Union legends Sebastian Letou and Sheanon Williams, I'm Dave Leno. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.